Yo, what's up? It's been almost 2 weeks since we reacted to a Wirtual video. Look at this, 13 days. That's a crime. Now this one's called How Trackmania Players Destroyed Cheaters. I was gonna say by Wirtual, but I already told you who we're watching. Just see it. His videos so far have all been absolute bangers, so I expect this one to be just as good.
Time.
Alright.
Speedrunning is a race against time.
Yep.
In any game or activity you speedrun, the point is to complete it as fast as possible. It's a great concept because it focuses so much on self-improvement and breaking the limits.
So getting good at speedrunning is like is like becoming super good at something. It's super impressive, but at the same time, it doesn't actually do anything for real life, except for like self-esteem, I suppose.
That were previously thought
It's
to be
great.
impossible. In Trackmania speedrunning, it is no longer just a race against time, but a race against fractions of time.
Yeah, we've watched that video. That was crazy.
World's most competitive racing game, players take
You guys should watch the reaction to it.
speedrunning to the extremes and battle for world records by just hundredths of
God, I love the soundtracks this guy picks. I mean, a lot of them are copyrighted, like just normal copyright, not like the stuff that takes down your channel or anything.
all
But
the cars in Trackmania are completely identical.
But I don't care.
And
I'm
the
not making
physics
money
are
anyways.
Completely deterministic, meaning that there's nothing random going on in the game, and the only way you can gain time is by driving better racing lines
absolute
and
skill.
executing tricks
That is
better.
actually so interesting because a lot of games that try to be completely deterministic, they just don't do it. There's almost always some quirk with the physics engine. That's RNG related, or not just straight up luck.
The best Trackmania
That's
players
super
are
cool.
optimizing everything they possibly can, and over the last 13
That's
years,
great.
they've pushed the world records in the game closer and closer to perfection.
I like that while he was talking about speedrunning, he's showing like super close races. By the way, that's like
AO1 race is the
that's
first
cool.
track in Trackmania Nations forever.
Okay.
And over the years, millions of players have set foot on this track, and thousands have battled for the world record. It's the most prestigious.
Oh yeah, just remember that it's gonna be a video about players
record
destroying
to hold
cheaters.
in the entire game.
Hyped.
And up until recently, the world record on the track was a 23.83 by
Okay.
Trackmania.
Okay, can we see
The
it? Or was that a run through
23.83
just now?
record to hold in the
Oh,
entire
okay, he only
game.
showed like the last
And up
second.
until
I suppose we'll see the whole
recently,
run while
the
he...
world record on the track was a 23.83 by Trackmania. The 23.83 by
Oh, look at this. The second record is by Riulu, I believe. That's how you pronounce his name. Yeah, okay, so in one of the recent Trackmania videos I did, I was like, man, this guy's crazy. He always gets shit done and something and everything. And someone in the comments mentioned that this guy actually fucking cheated. And he was the guy that was talking about how we shouldn't abuse a trick because it's like not fair or whatever. And he fucking cheated. I just thought that was so good. I didn't catch that joke because I missed the video where he talked about it. Maybe we should watch that one as well.
Trackmania was set in June.
Yeah, that's interesting. This is a video about Trackmania players destroying cheaters, and look, would you look at that? The second place is Riulu,
Of
the cheater.
2020, and it long reigned as one of the greatest records achieved in Trackmania history, with this record being 0.03 of a second faster than what any other player had achieved on such a competitive track. And it
Yeah, I mean, it's
perfectly
the first map.
encapsulated what speedrunning is all about. That of setting a goal for yourself, putting great effort into practicing and refining your skill, and having
So
the
much
dedication
effort.
to see it through until you get a near perfect
And the
run.
time, guys. Where the fuck do you find enough time to speedrun them? I really want to play some games where I can just dedicate 2,000 hours of my life for something real quick. But how do we find 2,000 hours?
Trackmania
This
claimed
is
to have
insane.
spent almost 1,000 hours.
Okay,
on
1,000. Close guess, I
to achieve
suppose.
this record.
Jesus Christ.
And during that time, he set many other records that were faster than what other players could achieve. He was
That's
just on a
insane.
level above everyone else, and it was awe-inspiring to follow his
So are these
journey
all his
and
runs?
see
I can't
how
tell.
far he could push the record. But sadly,
Yeah, I think
if
so. It's all the
something
same
sounds too good to be true,
Actually, no, they're not.
It usually is.
Okay. So the
case
guy
was
got a
similar.
record that was way too good, and turns out it was way too good to be true.
Different. During the recent cheating scandal in
Yeah.
Trackmania,
Yeah. See this. Look at
Trackmania's
this.
case was
How did I
no
miss this?
different.
This is this video right here. The one this. Apparently that is the cheater guy that we talked
recent
about, and I somehow missed that
scandal in
completely.
Trackmania, it was discovered that Trackmania's AO1 world records were all cheated, leaving everyone in the Trackmania community speechless. It was just unbelievable
Yeah,
for
it's
us
sad.
to think that one of the greatest Trackmania records wasn't done legitimately. that such
And what about the second one though? Is it both done
a good
unfairly?
Trackmania player as Trackmania would cheat. But that's what happened. And Riolu, who was in second place on the
Oh,
leaderboard.
Riolu. I thought he called him Riolu last video. Maybe he fucking mispronounced it and I just went along with it because I'm stupid.
Found to be cheating.
Yeah, what the hell? So the two...
And when both of their records were deleted, the AO1 race world record was sent all the way back to 8.
And now they actually have a chance to compete. If one of them gets 1 millisecond ahead. Oh, it's Draker. Fucking, what's his name? And Roland. It's all the names. I fucking love this. We're starting to recognize name. By the way, I asked what FWO was in the last video. One of you guys actually responded in the comments. Big cheers for that.
23.87. Driven by Kripke in 2014. 7 years of perceived progress on the track was lost.
Yep,
really
so it wasn't actually progress.
On Trackmania's
That's
most
insane.
prestigious leaderboard. To the community, the whole situation was
so
tragic.
that does mean the record. So that does mean they're using still a record from 2015. I'm sure someone could beat that shit. And it's called how Trackmania players destroyed cheaters. Wait, are they actually going to beat the record that the hacks the cheated time? That would be fucking crazy.
All hope wasn't lost. Because in adversity, there's also opportunity.
Yeah, time to set new records, baby.
There was now a chance to repair the damage the cheaters had done. And
I mean, the people saw how good of a time you can get with cheats. So now you have something to strive for. It's like watching a task and then you're like, okay, I know how good the potential play is. I won't be able to play quite as good as the literal hacks, but you could play pretty damn close if you're good.
Players want
with
to
enough
bring
practice.
the world record back to its former glory and try to beat the cheaters legitimately. To start, let's have a look at the track. Apart from driving good racing lines and going as close to the walls as possible, there are 3 main sections where you can gain time on AO1 race.
Okay, let's hear
The
it.
downhill, the speed slide, and the uphill. The first
what the fuck is the
section,
speed slide?
The downhill takes place just after the start. And here
that
it
is
vital
very. You have to
reduce
like be
airtime
exact
as
on the
much as
walls.
possible. The Trackmania car only accelerates when the wheels have contact with the ground.
Right, so you don't want to
since the rest
just
of the track
jump the
is
normal
driven
way.
at full speed after
I remember
the
in one of the
downhill.
videos you watched, he made his car tilt down to touch the floor faster to start accelerating quicker. I wonder if that's what you do in this one as well.
It is vital to land as early as possible, so that you can start accelerating again quickly.
Yep.
This is best done by doing a short release of the acceleration.
Oh, to
while
just slow
also
down.
Jumping diagonally.
Yeah, so slow down to speed up. Makes sense.
Doing
And
this,
diagonally.
you travel a
Why
longer
diagonally?
distance than jumping straight, meaning you have to release the acceleration less. And
Yeah,
you'll be
I
able to
see,
carry
I
more
see,
speed
okay.
As you land in the downhill.
That's smart.
Following that, the track takes a sharp left turn before getting to
Yeah,
the
yeah.
second.
So the reason you want to go diagonally is because then not all of your speed goes straight ahead, but you're actually going sideways and like, you lose speed. You lose more speed. No, you lose more forward momentum. No, not even that. You lose more, like, straight up distance initially, but you make up for that by not losing as much speed.
The speed slide. Here it is very important to be fully on the right side of the track at the entry to the turn. Then
Alright.
steer left and do as quick of a brake tap as possible. This
What's
will
a
make the
brake tap?
car start sliding.
Hit S?
And when you're sliding at high speed in Trackmania, at a
whatever
very
your
specific
back button is.
angle, the car will actually accelerate faster than if you're just driving straight. This is what's known as a speed slide. The
And it
goal
looks
of
like
the
it's
speed
really hard to
slide is
do.
Build up as much speed as possible before the final jump.
This was
And
before
to
we had
compete
little
for the
timers
world
on the back of the
record,
cars.
This slide has to be perfect.
Or maybe not, I
for
don't know. Regardless, in the video he's showing, there isn't like a speed meter. I like when he does that. That's like
entire
something nice
turn.
to watch.
Any small error, whether it's steering too much, known as an oversteer, or not steering enough, known as an understeer, will cost you.
And like the difference in distance is so minimal. It's like that's like a
massive
millisecond
amounts
of time.
speed. Then
Oh no, it becomes massive at the end. I see. So yeah, because if you gain bonus speed, it just carries over into more
we
acceleration
get to
later.
The third part of AO1 race, the uphill, where players abruptly steer to the right to go up the hill. While this looks awkward, the movement causes the car's back wheels to touch the ground sooner, and thus they accelerate
okay.
a little bit more before the last jump, gaining a few hundredths at
So
high
you
speed.
think you're supposed to just go forward, but it's not quite so simple. Okay, that's interesting. I like
Combining
that.
these 3 parts at the highest level without losing even 1/100th of a second is just immensely difficult to do. And for
Not
a
impossible.
long time,
And I'm
nobody-
assuming that's how the cheated records were so good. It's because they were just able to do these super hard tricks very easily. I mean, one of them he said used like speed hacks basically, or the equivalent of that. I don't know what he called it. Oh, it's Race Hans. I know him. Anyways, yeah. I don't know him. We saw him in another video. So, yeah. Yeah. I don't have anything else to add.
He was able to beat the track in under 23.90 seconds. The first player to do so legitimately was the player Kripke, who in December of 2014 achieved a 23.87 on the track, doing everything close to perfect.
And that was the 93 run? Or was it the 87? It's the 87, okay.
For a while, it was thought that this was as low as the record would go on AO1 race.
But well, after we saw the cheated runs, everything changed.
Any significant time after reaching 23.87.
Yes.
But as the years went on, there would be some very interesting developments on AO1. In October of 2019, Riolu set his 23.86 record on the track, which was later found out to be cheated by playing in slow motion. But at the time, this was seen as a grand accomplishment by the community.
And he was so known as well. Like that guy's name was everywhere on the leaderboards back in the day.
In May of 2020, a big hype started forming around AO1 race, when the players Roland, Trabadia, and Dwarker all started going.
I know Roland and Dwarker. Don't know Trabadia.
Or maybe even 23.85.
Or heard of them.
On the 5th of May 2020, Dwarker would drive a historic run on AO1 race.
Let's see it.
He started by getting a decent downhill, being a few thousandths of a second ahead of Kripke after the turn.
Thousands.
And then, in the ending, he got the greatest speed slide anyone had ever seen on the track. Holding the exact angle all the way through the turn. He was way ahead of the record, and all he had to do in those split seconds was aim his car towards the finish at the last jump, and the world record would be his. But Dwarker angled slightly towards the right on the jump, and across such a big distance, a tiny difference can have a big consequence.
No.
All Dwarker could hope for was that the car wouldn't crash before reaching the finish line, but with only one block left to go, Dwarker's back wheel touched the wall, and it resulted in him getting a 23.87.
No! So
Dwarker would have had the new world record of 23.85. But it just wasn't meant to be. And despite seeming like the top contender to take the record,
bro, if I get that close to something, I normally get like steamed up and fucking pissed, and I just go again and again and again until I'm exhausted.
Would beat him to it. Because 1 week later, on the 12th.
But if it took 1,000 hours to get one of the previous records, like
May
what?
2020,
this is insane.
Trabadia set a 23.87 on the track. At first, it seemed rather inconspicuous, as Trabadia had steadily climbed up the leaderboard.
Is Trabadia cheating as well? Trabadia is cheating as well, guys. We got him.
Prior.
And he was climbing the leaderboard to be inconspicuous, little bitch.
First getting a 23.89 and then
or maybe he just wasn't very good at the game, and so even with cheats it took him a while to get to this point.
But Trabadia would quickly show that he was on another level, because the very next day he set a new record.
Okay, so I thought this. My bad. I'm sorry for the Trabadia. I'm really sorry for this misdemeanor.
On the track. It's hard to emphasize the gravity of this record.
Turns out he was a legit guy.
Best was still 23.87 before this run, meaning that he skipped past 23.86. But this run certainly wasn't a fluke. Over those 2 days in May of 2020, Trabadia had gotten 5 23.87s, 19 23.88s, and 30 23.89s before he got the eventual .85.
So he's really good, or rather very consistent. Yeah.
And many of us thought that the record would stand forever. But in the next week, Trabadia would tie the 23.85 6 more times. For a total of 7 23.85.
Oh my god.
5 runs.
Did he not do any of the other times anymore? That is bizarre. Like, that is bizarre, is it not?
Other AO1 special.
In over 100 hours of hunting AO1, I got some sick SDS, but never perfect runs. Trabadia gets the perfect SDS. I really don't know what this means, man. I'm sorry.
Couldn't fathom how he could be that consistent at the speed slide.
Yeah, exactly. First of all, that he got it 7 times, and also what's weird is that getting that one 6 more times, he didn't get the other runs even once. Like, if you're getting super consistent with a super difficult time, you're very likely to also get the ones that are slightly easier a few times, right? Like, pretty much guaranteed. I don't see how that didn't happen, especially the record that he got 30 times. how did he get the super good record 6 more times without getting the 31 even once? Whereas before that he had to do it so many times. No. This is
something
sus.
that he'd only gotten perfect a handful of times in his hundreds of hours on the map. But Trackmania was getting a perfect speed slide almost every time. And 2 days later, Trackmania lowered the record again, down to a 23.84.
Yeah, I'm sussing out, guys.
Somehow after reaching 23.84, Trackmania kept playing the map for the next 2 weeks. And in the start of June of 2020, he uploaded an unimaginable, unthinkable 23.83. On Trackmania's most competitive track.
It's the cheated time. He dropped the cheated time. Now the question is it real? I don't know. I can't understand if Trackmania is real or not, because the way he phrased it at the start made me like super sus out. But then like he kind of made him seem legit. I don't know yet.
Actively fought for and optimized ever since 2008. Trackmania was now 300ths of a second ahead of anyone else. It's the reason why this.
And he is holding the. Oh, Trackmania is the fucking cheater. I forgot. Oh my. Guys, he showed the name. Oh my god, I bet you're all gonna be so pissed that I forgot the fucking name. He was there with Wirtual at the fucking start. How did I miss that? Oh my. Let's just keep watching.
Highly regarded in Trackmania as one of the peak achievements in the game's history. The story of the player who, despite holding the world record, pushed further and further for perfection was a story that
dirty
we all
cheater.
wanted to believe.
Slut.
But sadly, it was just a little too good to be true.
Yep.
Everyone trusted Trackmania, and nobody thought that he would cheat the records. But early in 2021, when Donadigo and I conducted a cheating investigation on Trackmania replays,
Wirtual was part of the investigation. That's cool. Or he was one of the 2 dudes that did it.
Trackmania's AO1 world record, and found something very strange about his speed slide. Trackmania replays store the exact inputs a player did in their run.
Oh, and there's gonna be weirdly consistent inputs that a human could not do. Alright, I get it.
Comparing Trackmania's speed slide to other players, there was a stark difference. Other players' speed slides, like Drarker's and Kripke's, consisted of hundreds of tiny movements, whereas Trackmania's consisted of a few very robotic-looking steering values. This didn't seem normal at all, but when we looked more into it, the picture became much more clear.
They're the same!
As it turns out, Trackmania's inputs...
let's go back here, right? 1511110. What about the one on the right?
This didn't seem normal at all.
15150. Okay, no, they're technically different, right? They're super consistent, but there are like millisecond differences.
But when we looked more into it, the picture became much more clear.
As
it turns out, Trackmania's inputs and his speed slides on AO1 were the exact same every single time.
Well, shit, I feel like there should be a system in-game in place for detecting when the same input, when the exact set of inputs is replicated several times in a row, because what's the chances of it being a false ban, right? I feel like false positives aren't... If you make it really, like, if you make it so it has to be, like, a lot of identical inputs, and they have to be... And it happens, like, a lot of times. Just auto-ban them, and then if it's a false positive, apologize later. I feel like that's the better approach to take as a dev.
Not even the
slightest
fluctuation, but exactly the same input.
Yeah, literally impossible to do.
This level of precision simply isn't possible to have consistently, as the steering range in Trackmania has 65,000.
And like, you can't have the players manually check you can't expect someone to go manually look through the inputs of every popular record every time. That would just be ridiculous. So I think a system like this just needs to exist, but I don't think it's that hard to just, like, especially if it's literally tracked, like the values are tracked. All you need to do is check if the numbers are identical, and if they are too many times, then just fucking ban them. Right?
And after we confronted Trackmania about it, he confessed to cheating on AO1 race using macros in a twit longer. In the twit longer, he mentions how he...
I like that there's a website that just summarizes them into a single fucking like long paragraph. That's so cool.
He became obsessed with perfection on the map, which eventually led to cheating that he felt he couldn't control. He says that he didn't do...
So, okay, one thing I do want to say, interestingly, is that usually if you cheat basically once, you're kind of like an average dude who's gonna cheat in a game will probably like after using the cheat will stick with it, and that applies to pretty much everyone. It's like you got a buff and then you play with it for so long, it's like the natural state. That's just how you play the game now. And then suddenly it being taken away. It's like, what the fuck? What's going on now? I think that you can't expect that to happen.
Do it to glorify himself or out of narcissism, and that he almost never played Trackmania with the goal of being first. Instead, he says that if there was a public tool-assisted speedrunning tool in Trackmania, he'd want to become a tool-assisted speedrunner.
All right, I don't know how much I believe that, and I don't know if it's true or not. So I don't have anything to add to this.
He also says that his idea.
I told myself that if I did a time that I could be satisfied with, everything would be better. But what is satisfying time? 85 point. None of that. See, I don't know, like. But that's how all speedrunners think, or that's how all players think. Like, I just want to get better, right? This is why people challenge themselves. But what he did is the exact same thing, but he ended up succumbing to cheats. Wait, succumbing?
Was to reach a semblance of perfection.
Never mind.
And then he would feel happy. But no matter how many times he improved, he never felt satisfied. Nobody would have any problem with Trackmania using macros to execute perfect speed slides if he stated that his runs were tool assisted from the beginning. The problem is that he claimed his runs were achieved legitimately. Yeah,
okay, that is a problem. Yeah, why did he upload them to fucking speedrun.com or .net, whatever it's called? Like, if you want to do a good task run, then just go and do a good task run and make it 100% task if you really want it to be perfect. Like, just don't add any human inputs to it whatsoever. But don't just cheat, upload it, and then in your apology go like, yeah, sorry guys, I just wanted to do a task, but like I couldn't tell you for whatever. You're like, oh, I had a headache that one time, I was gonna tell you guys that it was a task, so I just go like, oh man, my dog died, or like my dog got run over by a car on that one day that I was gonna tell you guys it was a task, and I kind of just forgot, like, you know, it happens.
And uploaded them to the leaderboards, where they absolutely do not belong. And on several occasions, for months after setting the records, claimed that they were legitimate in videos and in messages.
Yes. No, that is straight up lying. Like, you can't. It's not defensible.
Of his obsession also seemed to revolve around being perceived as a perfect player, rather than just reaching the limit on the track, as he was often seeking approval and validation for the runs. Even in his apology, he claimed to have achieved a 2384 without macros, but provided no evidence of the run, leaving a sour taste for anyone that would now want to go for the AO1 world record. 1 year earlier, Dwarker was just a few pixels away from making history on the track, and with the news of the cheaters now being gone, he decided to try to repair the damage they had done, and started going for the world record.
Yeah, he could do that. If he got that close last time, I'm sure Dwarker could manage.
On AO1 race once again. And after only a few days of grinding, on the 5th of June 2021, Dwarker got this run on AO1 race.
I like that in all virtual videos so far, he's got like, and on, and then like insert day or whatever run or attempt or whatever, like, and he got this run, and he does that for like everyone, and then he got this run. It's like
2021.
It's so good.
Dwarker got this run on AO1.
Dwarker got this run. Oh, that's so good. He's a little ahead. A whole millisecond. Yes! So his previous best was the one where he accidentally tapped the side and lost a bunch of time. That sucks. But, well, who cares now that he's got a better one, right?
86. The new world record on AO1.
So I did this, but my hand was out of frame, so what I ended up doing is just going for no reason.
On race. This was an incredible run by Dwarker. He had a fast start with a good downhill and reached 479 speed after the speed slide and the uphill, which was just barely enough to break the 2387 tie and claim the first ever legitimate 2386. Trackmania records are rounded down to the 100th of a second, but you can also check what thousandth
Oh,
of a second
fuck yeah.
they crossed
Okay, I'm
the
curious.
finish
Let's
line.
see it.
Dwarker's new AO1 record ended up being a 23.867, whereas Riolu's cheated 86 was at 869.
Fuck. Oh, wait, no, you got him. Yes, yes. Let's go, Dwarker.
Set a new world record. He'd also beat.
He also beat a cheater. Holy shit.
Race. It was an amazing achievement from Dwarker, but now it was hard to imagine the world record going much lower. The only difference between Trabadia's runs and Dwarker's run was the speed slide, but robotically holding the exact steering values that generate the most amount of speed simply isn't possible to replicate.
Yeah.
Because controllers in Trackmania generally fluctuate between steering values of 500, even if you hold the stick perfectly still.
Oh, wow, I had no idea. So, it's not 100% deterministic, but like, can you even hold a stick perfectly still? That sounds impossible, like, humanly. I guess if you have a physical fucking block on your stick and your finger, you don't have like shaky hands or anything, and then you like move it and you do it just right. Yeah, it could be possible, I guess, to hold a stick for in place enough for like the controller not to be able to detect this movement.
His records being removed from the leaderboards, it seemed like his claim of 23.84 and his cheated 83 run would haunt the track's history forever. And it very well could have if a new strategy hadn't been discovered.
Oh my god.
After 13 years of competition.
But you know what this new strat means? You're gonna be able to get largely ahead of the previous world of the cheated record now. That is fucking sick.
Race, there was a new strategy that nobody had discovered until the 1st of June 2021, when the player LX created a tool-assisted speedrun of 23.78.
Oh, that is
was that
fucking
it was
huge.
to speed slide the first corner as well. Speed sliding in Trackmania is only faster when going at over 400 speed, and it turns out that this is just barely possible in the first corner of AO1. But the problem is that you have to tap brake to initiate the slide, which loses a bit of time, so you must slide for long enough afterwards that you can compensate for the time loss.
Right,
After
okay.
the slide, Alex was still behind, but he had more speed than the previous tool-assisted record, and this tiny bit of extra speed snowballs through the next speed slide and the rest of the track. Alex's new task record regained all the time it lost and more before the finish line.
Right, what I really want to see is how good a human could do it.
0.02 of a second. At first,
but that is a fifth, or what? No, that is 5 milliseconds ahead of the previous cheated record. So
this new speed slide
is that realistically human possible? Not really, unfortunately. We're about to see it being done. Maybe not with this amount of time, but like
hard for human runs.
I believe it.
But
I believe.
Decided to experiment with it, and he very quickly noticed
would be harder than
potentially
0.83.
save time.
I like that those guys pointing out would be harder than 0.83. Now we can beat 0.83 because that was the cheater record. If a real person beats a cheater record, even with a new shortcut, that is the biggest W ever.
As well. So he started going for attempts with a double speed slide, and after a few days of grinding, Roland would show the potential of the double speed slide strategy when he tied Dwarker's 23.86 record on AO1.
Fuck yeah. Oh, it's Roland, huh? Fuck. I like that he's like a big figure in all the videos.
Then, 2 days later, Roland shared another AO1 run with the community.
Let's see it. That's a millisecond. Yes!
23.85.
Woo!
A new world record on AO1 race.
And now a whole millisecond ahead of the previous hacked record, or cheated. But there's still one more that's 2 milliseconds ahead. Do they do it? Do they do it?
Last time the track saw
do they
a
tie?
strategy innovation like this one was nearly 10 years ago, so this was a big deal. But Roland wasn't done yet. As he said in his own words, this was only the beginning. He kept grinding
I beat the AO1 world record.
And 2 days later, he got this run.
See it. And then we found out Roland was cheating. That would be so fucked up. Alright, oh yeah, so initially you're supposed to lose speed to get the speed slide going, but then you accelerate harder. Right, yeah, I forgot about that. That's why I was confused when I saw the red times thing, and I was like, oh, what? He got slower?
23.
Holy shit, we're so close.
Roland was the new king of AO1 race. He was leagues above anyone else on the track, and the entire community cheered him on to keep going and try to break the 23.83.
No, this is not it. Come on, you just need to beat the speeded record. Speeded? I mean, it was speed hacked. I tried to say speed hacked and cheated in the same board, and we got speeded.
Hurdle to return the AO1 leaderboard to its former glory. And though there now wasn't much room for improvement left, Roland knew he had it within him to get the improvement.
Oh, yeah, okay.
5 days later, history was made on AO1 race when Roland got this run.
Fuck, I bet he does that intentionally. Is that his thing? Is that, please, guys, come on, comments, you got me, right? You got me last time. You did great job. You did a great job, whoever left a comment. Come on. Can someone hit me up with the same one this time? With the same stats? Is this just a Wirtual line? X person did this run, and then you got this run. So last time here he was behind on time, like behind his 0.1 millisecond behind, right? I was on this one. Yeah, okay, he's
23.83.
Yeah, okay, it's the head. Look at the mini. Look at the micro. The fucking what's smaller than a millisecond? A microsecond? I don't know if that's the thing. Please, I want to look at the hundredth or the thousandth of a second. Come on, zoom in.
Another new world record.
Show it.
Another incredible.
Is it better than the previous cheated record?
Race. This one really had everything. A good start and downhill, followed by 2 perfect speed slides, being just enough to clinch another 100th of a second on the track. Looking at the AO1 race leaderboard.
Yeah, okay, he's showing you. Fuck yeah, let's go. I want to see it. Did he beat the cheat? The hacker.
Despite the tragedy of the cheating scandal, nothing had really changed. It took an immense effort from both players.
Oh yeah, holy shit, look at this. It looks identical, just the 2 top names swapped around. That's so fucking interesting. Both of the names weren't on the leaderboard before. They just straight up showed up and replaced the cheated records. Holy fuck, that's cool.
Nothing had really changed. It took that's awesome from both players, but at long last, Roland and Dwarker had successfully brought the AO1 record back.
Yes, Almighty Half-Fest. Is that real Half-Fest, or because that was also one of the names I remember.
But the hype for AO1 race was far from over.
Or is that like an alt account?
Because of the new double speed slide strategy, many players were grinding the track.
Yeah, that makes sense.
The leaderboard was getting packed with runs under.
Okay. So here's my guess. They're gonna beat the cheater record, not just set it, not just tie it, beat it.
3.90.
Which, I mean, that's predictable, because the video still has a lot of time left, but shut the fuck up.
85.
Yes, Half-Fest! Bro, I literally just talked about Half-Fest. Holy shit, pre-watched, actually pre-watched, holy shit.
Wirtual drove a 23.86, and Dwarker managed a 23.85 of his own.
Alright.
Originally, Dwarker didn't believe in the double speed slide idea, but after seeing Roland's success with it, he decided to give it a real shot. And
yeah, so he thought it wasn't. Let's reread this real quick. See, double SD. What the fuck? This would be double speed slide. Okay, I'm getting there. I think this means speed slide. What is that the term? Whatever. Double speed slide. What the fuck? This would be something for RTA runs. Is that like tool assisted? Maybe. I don't think that's usable for human runs, unfortunately. And then he fucking gets it.
He decided to give it a real shot, and 1
Giga
week
Chad.
later, he improved his personal best with it again, down to a 23.84, just 1/100th of a second behind Roland. Dwarker was getting close, and he felt that he still had a little bit of
the two same guys.
He just needed that
but
one
did Roland
run
feel that way?
where everything aligned perfectly. On the 17th of July, Dwarker had a great chance at beating the record. He got onto a run with an exceptional start, getting a perfect downhill and a near perfect speed slide. Before the second checkpoint, Dwarker had a 1/100th of a second lead over Roland, with even more speed. all he had to do was execute a decent second speed slide.
I don't like how he's presenting this. Not gonna lie, guys. This look the way Wirtual is showing this here. It feels like Dwarka is gonna mess something up ever so slightly. It's gonna be the saddest thing in the world to watch.
And the record would be his. But in the final turn, Dwarka held the brake a bit too long to initiate the speed slide.
Shit!
And he also didn't slide at the exact optimal angle, costing him speed. And across the final jump, his lead had completely
Did he simply tie?
vanished, and it resulted in a 23.83.
Yes, he tied!
It was a new personal best and a world record
Alright,
high
alright.
on Trackmania's most prestigious track.
He tied. That's good.
But to Dwarka,
I don't know who I'm rooting for, guys, because I'm like hyped when Roland gets a new record, but I'm also hyped when Dwarka gets a new record. Like, it's not like I want one of them to win over the other. It's just I'm just rooting for whoever's on screen, unless it's the fucking cheaters.
Somewhat disappointing that he couldn't hold the lead on such a strong start. Still, Dwarka knew that it was just a matter of time. He really was just one good run away from making history. And on the very next day, the 18th of July, Dwarka got on another fast start.
Ah, fuck off.
This one,
I was about to say the line again.
he wasn't gonna let go to waste.
Interesting, by the way, I just noticed the track started playing like 2 minutes ago, whatever, and he actually synced it up so that the the intense part of the song starts as this run starts. So previously he just kind of merged it in. Cool editing. Way ahead of the Ghost. Way ahead of the Ghost. Is this an 82? 81!
An absolutely groundbreaking time. Dwarka had skipped directly past the 82 and improved the AO1 world record by 0.02 of a second. A feat that hadn't been done since 2014 on the track.
Insane.
The run itself is absolutely mesmerizing.
Well, not actually since 2014. Like, realistically, since like... Is this not the first time?
Tether's right at the limit.
Is this straight up not the first time they got that record? Because the cheetah one was only 83, right? This is the first time they ever got that time. Unless there was another one in like a previous Trackmania version that I'm just not aware of.
The run itself is absolutely mesmerizing to watch. It tethers right at the limit of what is humanly possible on the map. And it beautifully encapsulates what speedrunning is all about.
Yeah.
That of setting a goal for yourself, putting great effort into practicing.
And destroying the bastard who didn't practice. I guess he practiced for 1,000 hours, whether that's true or not, but... You gotta stick fair. You gotta stay fair, otherwise it's not a competition.
And having the dedication to see it through until you get a near perfect run. And that is where the AO1 race world record stands today.
Absolutely juice run.
After Dwarka's record, Lakadal.
I was gonna say, like, I don't remember a .82 run being a thing as well.
A 23.82 on the
and so is Roland behind Lakadan?
So this might not be where the story ends.
And Hefest is fourth.
Looking at the leaderboard as a whole, the top 10 records is much stronger than it was just 1 year prior.
The crazy part is that no one thought the double speed slide strat was possible.
Just goes to show how
it's like, nah, no human could do this. This is a task thing only. This is a task thing.
Cheating scandal was not the be-all end-all of Trackmania speedrunning.
Yes!
In fact, it was a breath of life on many tracks, as players now had a target to chase and a reason to continue hunting. It's definitely going to take more than a few cheaters to kill the Trackmania speedrunning scene.
Yeah, for sure.
I predict it will continue to thrive for many years to come.
And cheaters will keep showing up, and there's going to be better and better methods of detecting them, hopefully, because that's how most games operate. I mean, depending on what game you play, there might even be a dedicated team. There might be even a team in the game dedicated simply, exclusively to banning cheaters. Now, I don't know how realistic that is in Trackmania, because it is client-side, not server-side, so I feel like there's a lot less control from the devs over how people play the game, or rather, a lot more from the players. But I don't know.
And as it does, I'll be here to continue telling the stories of the many great accomplishments by the players. And I hope that you will continue to enjoy them. Thank you for watching.
Because, like, yeah, my previous idea of just having, a system that detects inputs that are too perfect. What if you straight up just make it so your script automatically delays inputs by 1 fucking thousandth of a second every second run or whatever, and like it's not gonna affect your gameplay in any way, but it will be enough to make that previous system undetectable. So, you know, anti-cheats are difficult to make, and it really depends how like much control the devs have over this game, because it is run on your computer. This is not a server-side game.
If you like this video, then please consider subscribing to the channel so you don't miss when I upload new Trackmania.
Right? Yeah, no, it would make sense if internet affected your game. That would be stupid.
Also, a big thank you to all my patrons.
Thanks to his patrons.
For your
So that's what his
incredible
videos come about.
generosity. Without you, this would not have been possible.
Yep.
If you want to become a patron, there's a link in the description below.
Hit up his link, boys.
Anyways, that's all for now, guys. I will see you all in the next video. And until then, have a
I'm not
good
signing
one.
out. Yeah, stay. Alright, great video. The end of screen elements don't work. I'm just gonna ignore that because who gives a shit. Obviously, we're giving this video a like. I was gonna pre-like it as I usually do, but nah, not today. But you know, it's worth. I'll just say worth. You know what? Who cares? It's gonna make no sense to nobody. And guys, okay, so if you open the description, right, first link is gonna be his channel. This exact video you just watched. Second link is gonna be my main channel. Go hit that up if you're curious. Sub to this one. Come on, do the YouTube thing. Do the YouTube thing. Come on. Help me with the algorithm. Give me a boost. You know what I mean? Like just hit me up with a little boost, and that's all I wanted to say. Okay. I guess see you in the next video, which should be out in 2 hours, unless I screw something up big time. All right. Bye.